So it's been 4 months. Yeah, I think 4 months since I last uploaded, and as you guys can see, the car still runs. Well, it runs now, but basically what happened in the last 4 months is I had been having compression issues with the car. At first it was cooling issues, which explains like the whole pusher fan video I was doing. I took all that stuff out, but the car ended up having a leak at the water pipe. I'll show you guys when I get to my unit, but it had a leak at the water pipe and it was basically leaking coolant, and it was overheating because of that. So I pulled the motor apart and I fixed that. I did the whole like 120K service, I think is what it's called. I didn't set the tensioner correctly, and so when I started the car, it actually like slipped. The timing belt slipped. I pulled both the heads off. I had the heads resurfaced. I had the valves done, and I went to go throw everything back together. New head gaskets, new head bolts, new everything. And I did not deck the block. I had only resurfaced the heads, and I cleaned up the block, the mating surface. And basically after I did that, the front cylinder head wouldn't hold a head gasket, so that block had to be decked. Everything had to come out, and then I had to send that block off to get decked. So I actually bought another car, which I will show you guys when I get to the unit. I have a bigger unit now too, and I had swapped the motors over when I bought the other car. I bought the other car for $800 running and driving, and yeah, but I'm gonna head out to the unit and I'll pick back up when I get there. All right, so this is the unit. Now what I had before was super small, and this one's huge. It can probably fit both the cars in here if I push this one back. But yeah, this is the car that I bought. I pulled the motor out of it and it's in that car now. And this is the old motor here. I just have a junkyard head on here, but I'm trying to get rid of it because I mean, everything's new, but I mean, I really don't need it. That motor should be fine for now. But anyways, yeah, I'll show some pictures of this car when I got it. But don't feel bad for this one because this car does have some rust. This is the best place to show it, I think, right here. Basically in between the seams between this panel and the body, the actual body of the car, is rusting. On the other side it's not as bad, but it is probably the same, and underneath the car is rusted. This car came from New Jersey, I believe. So yeah, this one's a rust bucket despite what it looks like. That car is actually in way better shape. The suspension's all done, and the gas tank is good and everything's good. The gas tank in this one leaks and stuff, so, and when the engine was in this car, it was running like complete shit. I was just barely able to drive it here. The front brakes are locked up too, and constantly like boiling the system from me driving it. So yeah, this one's a piece of shit. So anyways, what you guys are here for are the coilovers. These are the coilovers I'm going to be installing on my car. These are Ksports, as you guys can see. They came off of this car, and yeah, $800 for a running and driving car. I mean, can't be mad. And came with these Ksports. These are pretty old, but I should be able to free them up. All right, so I got the bolt loose. It is just like hanging out. I'm gonna have to get the top bolts out, but I had to use like an assortment of tools. So a short 17 with a small extension, to the deep well. I couldn't even fit my impact in there, and I had to use the breaker bar at first to break it loose, but like halfway through it started getting really tight again. I was like, oh fuck. So I had to spray the PB blaster in there, but it's finally like as much out as it can go. It's on the strain of the sway bar right now. So once I get those top bolts out up there, that lower one, you will basically be able to pull it out. But I soaked that side, and I'm gonna do that side, and I'm gonna pick back up once I get these once I go to getting these top ones out, because the angle sucks for recording down there, so none of that footage is probably good anyways. But yeah, I'm gonna have to break that one loose, and then I'll pick back up when I start pulling out the top. Guys, look at this fucking setup I got going on here. Shout out to anyone in New York, bro. Anyone in the north, and y'all work on cars, y'all are insane. This bolt right here, bro, look how much thread is still sticking out. I've been wailing on this for like a good, I kind of want to say 10 to 15 minutes. Oh my god, bro, it is so tight. Like, it literally popped like 3 times. I was hoping it would just snap because, dude, this bolt is so tight, and there's not enough space because you hit the gas tank here and you got all your arms here. Bro, this is the worst, bro. Bro, I'm dirty as shit. Anyways, I got the coilovers off. My phone died while I was taking them off, so I have no clue how much I got recorded. But somebody just crashed, like right as I'm about to pull out of my unit. I heard somebody crash. My nosy ass is about to go instigate some shit. I want to figure out what the fuck happened. Shit, I wasn't lying, y'all. What the fuck? Ain't no way. All right, boys, we heading back to the unit. You guys can hear the, oops. You guys hear that? The creaking and shit. Yeah, hopefully we can get rid of that. All right, so back at the unit. Got the coilovers loosened up and stuff, cleaned up a little bit. I need to clean up. I need to get rid of all this junk. I need to get rid of this entire junk. Get rid of that and that. But this is going to be my little work area here. I'm going to pull the car in like halfway and jack it up and swap over the coilovers. Now, so when you're getting these loose, luckily it didn't take that much work. So what I do is I get like a brush, like a toothbrush. You don't want to use a wire brush, use like a toothbrush. Clean up these threads here. If you use a wire brush, there is a coating on these threads, and it can ruin the coating. It can take it off. And this is it's like a resistant coating, so that, you know, you can adjust your coilovers. Hopefully, usually it rusts up, but yeah. So use like a little brush, like a toothbrush, old toothbrush. Clean up the threads. Spray it with PB, and literally you just take your pry bar and you get it in somewhere like here on the one of the grooves in the collar, and literally on the end of it, just use a hammer. I use a 2.5 pound hammer, wherever the measurement is. I use this is a 2.5 pound hammer. Just hammer it, and you will eventually shock the collar loose. You can see it once it starts to move by itself. This one won't be moving, but this one will move. Once it gets to the point where you can do like this by hand, this is what I do. Just rock it back and forth. It'll clean up the threads here, like the gunk. It'll like push it out when you rock it back and forth. Go back with your toothbrush, clean it up, clean up the threads a little bit with the toothbrush, and then just loosen it all the way. It should be free. And then you basically do that with all the collars. This lower collar here I did it with, and after that this ended up being completely loose. This the adjustment here for the height. So yeah, I did that with all of them. This is the only one of these two cups, one of them I couldn't get loose, and it is already bottomed out, maxed out low, so I'm fine with not getting it loose. The other one I got it loose, but it was bottomed out too. But yeah, I got all the springs loose. The springs are, you can move the springs around. These ones not really, because they're kind of stuck to the top hats. But yeah, so I'm gonna do the preload myself. Now you guys want to look when you buy coilovers to see if they're already done. I'm gonna do them myself because the guy was messing with the preload on these and it was riding kind of rough, so I'm gonna do that myself. But don't touch this collar that adjusts the spring. Don't ever touch that. If it's already set from the factory when you buy your coilovers, then they're already set. You don't adjust your ride height from here, you do it from here. And this is why max speeding rods get a bad name, is because people adjust the spring here, have no clue what they're doing, and then because the spring is not set up right, the coilovers snap, or they have binding issues, creaking, stuff like that. Or it just, you might not have any issues, but then down the road they will wear prematurely and stuff like that. So I would not mess with these unless 9 times out of 10 you're not going to want to mess with these unless you're going on the track and you're tracking your coilover and you have specific preload amount you want to set. But yeah, just adjust these, this cup here and these cups. That's how you get your ride height. Only adjust these. Don't touch the upper collars, these two. Just this collar and this thing here. So I'm gonna pull the car in and get it up on some wood and jack it up. I'm gonna do the front first and then pull the rear around and do the rear. All right, so when you're doing your preload, I have this collar pretty much enough to give it slack. So what you do is you push up on the spring and then spin this. Well, I can only do it with one hand right now, but spin it up until that it's snug. So I'm gonna do it like this. It's easier to just pick up the spring though. Yeah, so it would be snug now, and then you're just gonna keep spinning it until you can't anymore. Now it's getting tough because it's getting tight. Just do it a little bit, and that should be good. So you're gonna spin this lower collar down, this locking collar. You're gonna spin it all the way up, pretty much bottom. You don't want it too tight because you're gonna adjust this up more. But if you make it too tight, it'll pull this collar with it. So you're just gonna take your wrench, adjust this up, keep adjusting it up until you can fit this end of the wrench in between the collar and in between the two collars. Once you're able to do that, you're gonna put this ring back up and tighten it a little bit and then feel the spring. See if you can move the spring around with your hand. If it only takes just one like wrench worth of preload and it's good, then it's good. Just leave it there, tighten this one up. You don't have to, whenever you tighten these and you're done adjusting, I would hammer tighten them, but you don't have to do that right now. I would take it for a test drive, see if you have any spring binding or if you feel any like kind of slack in the suspension or like any like you're hitting bumps pretty hard or whatnot. You probably have to adjust it one more time. So at most you want to do like maybe 3 wrench worth, but I like to leave mine on the looser side. So if I can get away with just one and it's not gonna have the spring jump around, move around or anything, I'll leave it at just 1. The more preload that you put, the less spring you have to work with for spring travel. So I really want to use as much spring as possible to keep the ride cushiony. So I'm going to start out with 1 and I'll pick back up once I get the space out so you guys can see. So I just adjusted it up and this one moved just a little bit, but it didn't move too much. So I can fit the wrench in between here. So now is when I move this one up and I'm gonna lock it into place. I'm not gonna hammer it just yet because I wanna go for a ride and make sure, but I'm gonna lock it into place. Just spin it up. So the front is done. Gonna lower it down. Oh, that was a little aggressive. Let's see. Oh yeah, the spring settles a lot on this. Wow. Well, they're about the same at least. Okay, I don't want them to be too low because they were slammed before. One thing about them, even though they don't have these, which I'm pissed about, like, I mean, I didn't pay for those coilovers, but like, they're $1,500 new and they don't come with anything to at least hold the brake lines. The ABS, that's fine because not all the cars have ABS, but the brake lines, like, are you serious? They didn't think that through. But one thing is, I don't know if you guys can tell, but these are bent because when they made these, they made them like too far apart. So you kind of have to like squish them together for them to fit the knuckle. Maybe this one's bent. Yeah, this one's bent a lot. You guys can see. It's like bowed in right there. But yeah, that is one thing that is better about those. They fit a little better, but the only thing is that is like stupid. guys, I never showed off the floor mats I got. I got P2M mats. If you guys can see them, I got all 4 mats in the interior, and I got the trunk mat. I don't know when they're coming out with these, but they should come out with these mats soon. I was working with somebody at P2M and he got them made. Boys, I think we're in business. This came out so smooth, and these here aren't too chewed up. Bushings here are pretty good shape. Okay, but if you guys look, if I match up the if I roughly match up the way they mount here, okay, so that's about equal. You come down here, and this is a tad longer, but man, I think this is gonna give me the height that I want. These coilover bodies must be very shorter in general. That is good. That is good. I can live with that. Oh man, I just don't know. I think these springs are skinnier than these, so I think it will sit a lot lower. I think it'll even out to where this is. Okay, enough of rambling. I'm gonna throw this on. It's pretty self-explanatory, just reverse process of this. Coilovers are very easy to get on versus stock struts and stuff. So I'm gonna throw these on real quick, and yeah, I'll pick back up. So be sure to jack up the knuckle before you tighten the bolt there, because that's a bushing. You don't want to tighten the bushing on full droop and then have the car sitting on the floor for most of its lifespan, and it pretty much wears out the bushing. So make sure you jack it up before you tighten that bushing down. So I was gonna go for a test drive somewhere and go get some clips of my thoughts on the coilovers, but if you guys remember before, I was talking about how there's nowhere to mount the brake lines. So I went down the street and I'm hearing like some noise of like something like scraping on the ground, and it's actually the whole like brake line bracket holder that fell onto the axle. So it was just like smacking the axle. So I'm gonna go home real quick and I'm gonna zip tie it. I think I might know a spot to zip tie it, but I'm gonna zip tie it real quick, and then we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back out onto some bumpy roads. So we're driving, and we're going to a little spot to go get some pictures of the ride height and stuff. So far, it's a lot better than what it was before, because before, like, every time you would hit a bump, it would just crash. And now when you hit a bump, it kind of absorbs. And before it was like you hit a bump, it's like boom, boom, and now it's like boom, boom. It's not as bad, but it is still kind of bumpy. But so far there's no noise like in the front end. Before there was a lot of noise in the front. The only thing I hear in the back is there's like before it was like a rubbery, like cushiony sound, like kind of like a squeak. But now there's like, I don't know if it's the hatch glass or what it is. I think it might be the hatch glass, but it's like kind of creaking a little bit. And that's literally the only noise that there is. Before there was a lot of like squat, like when you used to do a pull, like the rear end would squat down and the front would like come up, and then when you let off, like you could feel it. And now it's there slightly, but it's not as bad as what it was before, so it's definitely a lot better. I'm gonna pick back up once we get in the bumpy road parts. So we're about to hit we're on some curvy roads, and it's actually handling a lot better. There's a lot less side to side sway than before. Honestly, I really think it's partially because of how old the coilovers, the old ones, the back speaker rods. But yeah, these are like all in all, they just ride a lot better. No real complaints other than the rear, like the whatever that creaking noise is. Like I said, it might be the hatch glass, or it might be something in the hatch, like the plastics or something.
did a couple pulls there. It feels really good. It feels way better than before. Before, you could not light up the tires like that. The way the suspension was, it was like too soft. And now it's perfect. I mean, other than, you know, my 2 complaints, like my complaint with, well, 3 complaints, just the rear being like, you can't, there's no adjustability in the rear to go lower than what it is. I mean, it's fine. It's not like it's a monster truck, but there's that. The other complaint is the how there's nothing to hold on the bracket for the brake lines, like that should, you know, like why did they not put that? And then I would say the 3rd complaint would be the creaking noise in the back, but I don't think that's the coilover. I think that's the glass. So it's not even related to the coilovers. Well, all in all, on the front, it feels so good. It's crazy. And the ride, I mean, the ride, sure, it is bumpy, but it's not that bad. It's way better than before, and that's probably why I don't think it's that bad. But I mean, I will, if opportunity comes and I can get BCs, or like I said, with max speeding rods, if they want to get a new coilover out, I will definitely run that over these, depending on how well it is. But yeah, also those pulls, I did 2 pulls. I mean, probably only one of them's going in the video, I don't know. It's gonna be like a little baseline for how quick the car is. I have a lot of parts that I want to throw on here, performance wise. So definitely, if you guys want to subscribe, make sure you have the notification bell on so you can see those videos. They're going to be coming out week by week. I'm going to have videos every week, so make sure you subscribe. I'm going to wrap up this video here, so go down, like the video, leave a comment, let me know what you guys want to see, let me know your thoughts on the video. Subscribe, make sure you turn on the bell, like the video, and drop a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.